Hello, in this presentation we're going to explain how the Beep payment plan works. The first step to understand this is to learn how the career path works. Before we begin, it would be of benefit to completely new people to explain some common definitions. Here we have a typical group in its early stages. Jane started it by introducing Fred and Lynn. Fred gets started straight away and introduces Sue, who introduces two people the same day, Anne and John. A day later, Jane introduces David, who introduces Bill. So let's introduce some common definitions so that when you hear this in the future, you don't get confused. Frontline means there is no other member between you and the next person. Therefore, Fred is termed as frontline to Jane. Depth means how far down a line somebody is. Sue, for example, is 2 levels deep from Jane. Anne is 3 levels deep from Jane. To tie the previous definition in, we can say Sue is not frontline to Jane, Sue is frontline to Fred. Crossline refers to groups who are nothing to do with each other for income purposes. Although Sue will earn revenue from the sales from Anne and John, the two individuals, Anne and John, have nothing to do with each other and are referred to as crossline. The term legs refers to the number of individual frontline groups somebody has. For example, in this diagram, Jane has 3 legs. Fred has 1 leg. Sue has 2 legs. Finally, there is upline and downline. In this diagram, the common upline to everyone is Jane. Sue has 2 downlines, Anne and John. On the other side of the diagram, Bill is downline to David. If you're completely new to this type of referral marketing, it makes sense to learn these simple definitions. The career levels are easily remembered as they are geographically based, starting with an area. Larger than an area is a region, then national. Larger than a country or national is a continent, then global. This is why these titles have been used. So, by the simple act of registering with Beep, everybody becomes a sales manager. For a sales manager to become an area sales manager, all they have to do is invite 3 of their contacts to join Beep for free. Many members achieve this in their first day. The area sales manager now works with their 3 contacts and helps them to invite 3 contacts themselves. To become a regional sales manager, a member helps 3 frontline people become area sales managers. Here we show how a regional sales manager progresses to national sales consultant. Here, the regional sales manager has 3 area sales managers, A, B and C. To simplify the example, we'll assume that A, B and C each perform in the same way, so we will just concentrate on A to make it easier to view. Area Sales Manager A begins here with 3 sales managers 1, 2 and 3. So now Area Sales Manager A goes to work with Sales Manager 2 and helps them to introduce 3 people for free who automatically come in as sales managers. This elevates Sales Manager 2 to the rank of Area Sales Manager. Now, Area Sales Manager A repeats this with Sales Managers 1 and 3, turning them into Area Sales Managers. Now, Area Sales Manager A has 3 Area Sales Managers. They are now promoted to Regional Sales Manager. Now, the Regional Sales Manager at the top of this diagram does the same with Area Sales Manager B and C, turning them into Regional Sales Managers, which now increases their rank to National Sales Consultant. Note that to achieve all ranks up to National Sales Consultant, the 3 ranks required below have to be frontline. For Continental Sales Consultant, it is worth noting that up to this rank, each member had to have 3 members of the next rank down to achieve their rank, and that they had to be personally frontline to them. For Continental Sales Consultant and upwards, you need 5 of the next rank down, but they don't have to be frontline to you, they just have to be in different legs. So here you see a National Sales Consultant who has 5 legs. 2 of these legs are already at the same rank, and 1 is Regional Sales Manager, which is how they qualify as National Sales Manager, by having 3 frontline groups at the rank of RSM or higher. This is a very fair system because it encourages two things. One is to work closely with your frontline in the early stages, which is essential. The second is to work the depth of your team. It's fair because you may have big dreams, but your frontline may have smaller dreams, and in some systems that could hold you back. Here, by looking for people with similar goals but in depth, you can achieve the highest levels. So here we see how you find 5 national sales consultants in the depth of your team in 5 different legs, which makes you a continental sales consultant. To reach the highest level in Beep is to be called a global sales consultant. To achieve this level is the same method as the previous. You need 5 continental sales consultants in 5 separate legs to qualify. Here we'll begin to explain the Career Path Infinity payment plan. It breaks down into 4 incomes. 1 is the shop income shown here. 2 is the differential commission here. 3 is the leadership commission. And 4 is the world bonus pool. Let's study them individually. To explain the shop or business introducer commission, here we see a Beep member who's introduced a restaurant who's given 1,800 cards to its clients. Here we have to make assumptions. Let's assume the average total spend on Beep cards is $220. The 2.75% Beep charge equals $6.05. Beep pay out 60% of this, and 20% of that 60% is paid to the Beep member who introduced the shop or business. That equals 72.6 cents. Therefore, 1,800 cards in this example will earn 72.6 cents per month each, which equals $1,306.80 per month. Here we see the differential commission. It's called this because it pays out on the difference in ranks between you and your team. The table shows the Beep differential commission. It begins with 10% for an area sales manager and increases to 30% for a global sales consultant. This makes a new person very profitable to a GSC. When you understand the 3 examples below, every other permutation of differential commission works the same way. The first example shows an RSM who's introduced a brand new person, an SM. The RSM has a differential commission of 15%, whereas the new SM does not qualify for this bonus and is therefore set at 0. To calculate this, 15% minus 0 equals 15%. Therefore, the differential commission to the RSM is 15%. In the second example, the new SM has now grown to the level of ASM. So to calculate the differential commission of the RSM is 15% minus 10%, which equals 5%. The third example shows how differential commission runs out and leads into the next commission. The original RSM has remained at the same rank, but the ASM in the last example has now caught up with their introducer and reached the same rank, RSM. Therefore, they both have a differential commission set at 15%. So 15 minus 15 equals 0. This is where the leadership commission begins for the RSM. This encourages members to help members in their team to be able to catch them up at the same rank. To explain the leadership commission, we will explain the longest version which occurs. This is from the global sales consultant. From the green table, you can see that leadership commission starts from RSM upwards. The basic concept is that when somebody in your team reaches the same or higher level as you, leadership commissions are paid. The drawing shows one leg of a GSC. For reference, we will call this member GSC John. The Beep algorithm has a robot that goes looking for who to pay. The robot always works out leadership commission from the bottom up. In other words, for every commissionable sale, the robot has 15% leadership commission to pay out. Therefore, the robot starts with the first percent first. In the example, the golden line shows where the sale took place, just underneath GSC Dave, who we will assume is the originator of the card. GSC David therefore receives the 30% differential commission. The robot looks for who qualifies for the 1% Leadership Commission, and that member is Susan. We can see that GSE Joe receives the 2% Leadership Commission on the same sale, and GSE Anne receives 3% Leadership Commission on the same sale. Notably, the RSM and the NSC further up line don't qualify for Leadership Commission on this particular sale, as it's too far away from them in terms of qualification. RSMs on the green table only receive 2 levels of Leadership Commission, and NSCs qualify for 3 levels of Leadership Commission. Therefore, on this particular sale just below GSE David, the robot bypasses non-qualifying members as it looks for who to pay the 4% and the 5% to. For the 4% Leadership Commission, it locates Jane. The robot bypasses the NSC above Jane because NSCs only qualify for Leadership Commission at 3 levels, and this particular sale is below that. The 5% is paid to GSE John, as GSEs qualify for 5 levels Deep Leadership Commission, and this is how the robot located John. To give another example of Leadership Commission, we will assume that in this example the sale occurred just below GSE Harry. We will assume Harry is the originator of the card, and it is therefore he who receives the 30% differential commission. We are discussing Leadership Commission here, but if Harry was the originator of the card, he would not only receive the full differential commission, he would also receive the 20% commission for originating the card. As in the previous example, the commission robot looks for who to pay the 15% Leadership Commission to. The first 1% is located at the RSM immediately above Harry. The NSC next up line receives the 2% Leadership Commission. The 3% is paid to Jane, and the 4% bypasses the NSC as they only qualify for 3 levels deep, and this sale was further away than that. Therefore, the 4% is paid to GSE John. Let's assume that there is nobody of a rank that qualifies for Leadership Commission above GSE John. Therefore, the robot has 5% left over from the original 15% constantly allocated to Leadership Commission for every commissionable sale. Any unallocated Leadership Commission is directed to the World Bonus Pool, which we will discuss on the next slides. To summarise, Leadership Commission is paid out from the rank of RSM and above. Maximum Leadership Commission for GSEs is paid out on all sales volume to the 5th team member at the same rank or higher. Leadership Commission only changes its percentage when it reaches another member of the same rank. As Leadership Commission is allocated to 15% of commissionable sales, it is common for this commission to be paid out to 5 separate members. Maximum leadership for GSE's commission does not stop at 5 levels. It reaches up by bypassing non-qualifiers into groups until it finds 5 members of the same rank or higher. The business of Beep is the 2.75% it receives for providing the global discount loyalty system. As a promise and a disclaimer, Beep pays out 60% of this, no more, no less. If there's any excess after the commission run, it is allocated to the World Bonus Pool. The World Bonus Pool adds up to 10% of commissionable sales. 2% is paid to NSCs and above. 3% is paid to CSCs and above. 5% is paid to GSCs. This means that a GSC will receive a World Bonus Pool commission on all 3 pools. In this slide, we will concentrate on paying World Bonus to GSCs, as the same percentage calculation applies for all 3 ranks that qualify for this payment. In this slide, we will simplify the whole World Bonus Pool to just a few GSCs. On each commission run, Beep will calculate the percentage of sales that each GSC contributes to the global turnover. Depending on the percentage of the whole, which is 100%, determines the amount each GSC receives. The more GSCs reach their level, the higher the turnover of sales that enter the World Bonus Pool. Therefore, the pool only gets bigger the more members qualify for the pool. This concludes our presentation to further explain both the career plan and the payment plan. Don't worry too much if it isn't completely understood. At first viewing, many leaders only begin to understand the maths and the structure when they were already building it, and the majority of leaders admit that they only truly understood the commissions when their own statements arrived in their email inbox. Thanks for listening.